Shasta here, and you're watching Soundwaves TV. I am freaking thrilled to meet, finally, Trixie Rasputin of Trixie Rasputin Presents.
Hello.
I'm so glad to finally meet you. We met online during COVID.
Yes.
And got to know each other, and it was very apparent to me that you and I would be fast friends. Like, very apparent. I mean, Dennis and I have talked several times about, oh my God, You're a lover. She's one of our people. I have to tell you this quick story. It's relevant to what we're going to talk about today. You and Dennis connected, and he had a conversation with you, and he called me, and the first words out of his mouth was, "She's one of us." And I was like, oh my God, it's true, because your spirit, you're in it to win it for the local music scene. You're out there building shows, pushing shows, helping these venues and these artists. And obviously that's what we're all about here at Soundwaves. So thank you for doing what you do. Tell us how you got into this whole thing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting
And
all
we were
of that,
mentioning hoop.
Yeah, I know.
Hoop earrings.
I do feel like this makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
On a professional and a personal level.
Yes, I am one of you. I am a huge advocate for our local music scene. I got into it through my own bands, being, a musician myself. So I just really felt unsatisfied with where things were at.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID, I always have been involved in lots of different projects, but it just seemed like, well, now's the time. Like, we're coming back. We're having a renaissance of art. Everybody's making things. So I kind of jumped in, seeing that there was a need for it.
Yeah.
And I want to see the scene be a place where everybody wants to hang out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Would you say with genres, you have a specialty genre? Do you focus on one genre over another, or how do you work that out? Because there's a lot to represent here in the Bay.
Right. That's true. And my personal taste leans towards rock and roll. That's the kind of music I liked making. So I think at this point, I'm trying to remain open-minded to, just what I consider to be good art, good music.
Yeah.
I'm sort of lined up with a lot of indie artists, so indie pop, and
there's a lot of that in the Bay.
There's a whole psychedelic movement that's happening. Yeah. I've also seen some bands recently that harken back to the grunge sound a little bit.
Me too. And I love. Oh yeah.
I know. It's so
Speaking
good.
my language.
It's so good.
One thing that I think is very unique about the Bay Area, in maybe not a positive way when it comes to supporting local music, is it feels like, to me, from an outsider, because I'm not a musician, it feels like there are multiple local music scenes within the Bay Area because of geography, because we have bridges that divide us. Yeah. So you've got the San Francisco scene, you've got a South Bay situation, North Bay, East Bay. And so I think I wrestle around when I'm trying to sleep at night. These are the things I try to figure out, how to marry all of those. How do you do that? How do you get people from the East Bay to drive more into the city, or the North Bay to drive to the South Bay? I don't know how to answer that question.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I'm not expecting an answer from you, but just thinking that.
Well, you're bringing up something really important about even just San Francisco proper or Oakland proper. We don't have what some music cities have, which is a
strip.
Right.
Like Austin has this amazing Sunset Strip in LA. Amazing.
Right. So you can kind of like hop to different shows, or
New
you
Orleans,
just show up and then, you're going to suddenly be in the thick of it all.
Right. That's a real hard struggle for us.
Yeah, we don't have anything like that. So people are used to just decide where you want to go for where's the best show and just go.
Right.
I have noticed that like the local music scene that I'm most a part of is a lot of musicians. So they're really supportive of each other. And so those people will definitely cross the Bay.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
But how you get fans to really do that, people who are not necessarily in it for the network or for being a musician themselves or whatever it is. I guess it's just a matter of, honestly, probably marketing events and making sure people know they're happening.
Yeah.
And at that point, if it's a good enough band, they'll show up.
Yeah, that's true. No, that is valid. I just remember one time I was in New Orleans and Frenchman Street. If you've ever been to New Orleans and you've been there, you know how fantastic it is. If you haven't, you must. It's where all of the great musicians go on a night off. They go to Frenchman and they all play together. But what you were saying is there's, one street and you stumble, as it were, into and out of, these places, and you just see these amazing bands. And what's cool is one band will jump from one bar into the next bar and start playing with that band. And I mean, that's just so special. Now, obviously, that's a pipe dream because we don't have that luxury here. But I think it's an important thing to think about in theory is support. You know, what you're talking about, supporting each other. We can't have that in a geography way, but we can have that in a supportive marketing, social media powerful way.
Yes.
You know, supporting one another as far as bands, promoters, whatever it is, and not just looking out for my show, my band.
Oh, right. Well, and also not only that, but the venues.
Yeah.
Because highlighting venues is something I try to do as well.
Yeah.
To bring awareness, because sometimes people just don't even know. Like they've never heard of Milk Bar. They've never heard of the Knockout, these smaller clubs. You know, they like people in Oakland might be thinking, well, I would go to the Independent, you know, but they don't know about the little divey places that actually have some of the best music in the whole city.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely. And some of the greatest crowds too.
Yeah,
you know, really cool community crowds that like will go to that place every Saturday night to catch whatever's on stage.
Right.
Those are some of my favorite people.
Yes. I know.
I do enjoy hearing you say it's kind of a renaissance right now, because we had conversations on this show during COVID in our little Zoom boxes about how we just knew that these musicians were sitting at home pumping out all this amazing music and that it would be the Roaring Twenties again. Now that we're sort of kind of on the back end of this, I think, knock on wood. How do you feel? You said renaissance, but how do you feel like things are moving and grooving right now where we're at?
Well, pretty great. I mean, I got back into booking, I guess it was maybe July last year. So July 2021, right away, everything I was booking was just selling out. It was awesome.
That's great.
You know, because it was like everybody's just so excited to be here.
Want to get out.
Yeah, and the music was sounding great, and bands had worked really hard to get new music out to the public. So so that was all good. And then December was kind of rocky, and then of course in January everything was canceled of this year. So that kind of put a damper on things for me. I was really bummed out because I thought, you know, maybe this is it. Maybe that was like the wave has crested and we're done.
Yeah.
But now I'm seeing it all over again, where it's like double the excitement.
Oh, that's great to hear. That makes me really happy.
And most of the bands that I'm working with and watching are releasing new tracks like continuously. It's just a lot of singles coming out all the time. So it's really fun.
And they have angst to work with now. After the last couple of years, there's a lot of anger, built up anger. Yeah. So you work with bands too, right? And we're gonna play one of those bands.
Yeah.
If bands want to get a hold of you and work with you, first of all, let's just touch on how do they get a hold of you? How do they find Trixie Rasputin?
Well, the name.
Yes. Probably not another one, I assume.
So far, no, there's not another one. So Trixie Rasputin Presents, that's the handle on Facebook and Instagram. And that's also my email, which I don't know if that's okay to share.
Sure,
but,
of course.
You know,
if you're brave enough, by all means.
That's fine. I prefer to communicate through email. So if people are contacting me for show ideas, you know, I have texting, I have Instagram messaging, Facebook messaging, but usually I say, you've got to just put it in an email so I don't lose it, because...
Oh my God, yes, preach.
You know, I book a lot of events. I'm working for different events all across the city and booking shows at venues that are my own ideas, or bands bring me ideas and we run with them. So I can't keep track of stuff when it's just like a text message and we're talking about payment and we're talking about dates and times and sets and
keep it easy and professional in one place. Email is way to go. So tell us about this band that we're gonna play. Who is this band? How are you connected? Pitch them.
Well, this band is awesome. They're called Treasures, and I actually heard them before I ever met the band. I was in a recording studio called Lucky in Brisbane, Lucky Recording, and another band was actually working on their album, so I was hanging out with them. That was Silk Road Truckers, is that group. Anyhow, Mikey, the engineer, he said, "Hey, Trix, do you want to hear some new music?" Of course, yes.
Yes, yeah.
So he fired up this song that just like stopped me. I was like, wait, you're producing this band right here? What is this? And it was Treasures. So I, you know, easily could contact them because I had this connection. So I contacted their lead singer, Jack, after we did meet in person at a party, actually. And then I just said, you know, I think you guys are going to release an album, right? Do you want some help?
That's great.
Getting your album release show off the ground? Like I know how to contact venues. I could try and put something together. I mean, it was pretty like, I was pretty humble.
That's
like,
very humble of you.
Can I please do this?
And you were personally invested in this band, clearly.
I was, because I thought the music was really killer. It was just so well recorded. And his voice, Jack, the lead singer, is a great singer. Corey, the other guitar player, is a great singer. They just sound good.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be part of whatever this is.
That's the best feeling.
Yes.
We get that feeling a lot around here.
Yeah, right? I mean, it just
we find new artists and bands. We're like, oh, yes, we are behind them. We're behind everybody that you see on this show. We're going to hopefully work together a lot. We love what you do.
Thank you.
We appreciate what you do. I know all bands and musicians watching this right now appreciate what you do. There's not enough of you. I'll say that for sure. You should probably be cloned a few times over. So promise us that we'll besides our matching hoops, we will build out our fantastic relationship and work together.
Well, I look forward to that. Thank you.
Welcome to Soundwaves family.
Thank you.
You've been adopted for life.
Oh, wow.
All right. Find her online, Trixie Rasputin. We're going to check out Treasures
here
on Soundwaves TV. We'll be right back.